It's a great honor to have you, Mr. Lutzom Pfannenstielom, from other side of the Atlantic. Thank you for talking for Sportski magazine of Al Jazeera Balkans. The motive of our talk is definitely this historic transfer, first transfer of Bosnian player into your club. Can you tell us something more about that? Selmir Pidro has signed a contract for your club. He's a player, a football player currently of Sarajevo. Actually, he will join you later at the end of Bosnian season. How did this happen, and what are your expectations?
Yeah, I think it was a normal scouting process, to be honest. You know, I knew Pedro from before when I still was working in Europe, when he had some as a very young player, some really good seasons already with Sarajevo. Also some other European clubs were interested in him. And well, we always had him on the radar. And when he also played this game in December in Los Angeles with the Bosnian national team against the United States, I think he also looked very impressive. And yeah, I think that was the moment when we said we definitely would go for such a talented player.
Is it possible that this could be some kind of sign for other players, not just from Bosnia, but for all players from this region, from Balkan region, that you're following them, that they are on your radar, and that there is possibility that you're gonna try to find someone else also here?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the Balkan market is always interesting. You know, I worked in Germany for many, many years, and there is lots of players from that region playing in the Bundesliga or playing in the big five leagues in Europe. So definitely lots of talented players, and that's one of the markets we're looking at. That's one of the markets we want to be active and do our scouting and recruitment.
St. Louis FC is just actually joining to MLS League. Can you tell us what are your expectations in that competition since you're just coming?
Yeah, you know, we started the club here from scratch, from zero when I came in here in August 2020. So we are now fully functioning. We're having an academy which plays already in the highest competition here in the United States with the U16, U17. We're adding a few more teams this year. And we actually started training last week with our under-23 team, our development team, which plays in the MLS Next Pro competition, also a completely brand new competition here in the United States, where it's a great way to really introduce your young players, where you can build a bridge between the academy and the professional level. So that is what we are really going to look for. You know, we want to promote our own talent. St. Louis is known for the place actually in the United States with the most football talents, statistically, but also historically. We want to make that even bigger and better and work a lot in youth development. And at the same time, we want to bring very, very interesting young talented players from international markets, like, for example, now with Pedro from Bosnia, players which fit in our philosophy. I believe the league is getting better and stronger and bigger every day. The World Cup is coming in 2026, so the game of football is getting more and more important here. The MLS is getting more and more important here. And that is why I want to have a young and hungry squad which still wants to achieve something and stay away from the big names, which in the end of the day is nice for marketing and promotion, but we don't need that.
I just wanted to ask you about that comparison of quality of football between US and European football. You've been playing in both continents, in a lot of leagues all around Europe and US. But at that time, it was maybe, in my opinion, a bigger difference. But now, can you tell us, is there that gap is becoming smaller?
Yes, definitely. I mean, there was some, I would say, really big things happening in recent years. The moment when the MLS decided to have their own youth kind of development system, which is called MLS Next, which is basically the same thing as an academy system in Germany, which worked really, really well. And you're looking at the numbers of young players who are getting transferred every year now. For example, in the German Bundesliga, I mean, now this last transfer window, 3 or 4 absolute American top talents moving over there. I mean, we know Gio Reyna, we know when McKennie played in Schalke, we know Pulisic, of course. I mean, there is such a huge number. But now again, Pepe moving with 18 years to Augsburg for a big transfer fee. It just shows that the talent here is immense, and the numbers of players who moving over it's very young players who are great athletes, and I think it just shows, as you mentioned, the gap is getting smaller, the game is getting bigger over here. And I believe, give it another 2-3 years with the view to the World Cup 2026, the MLS will be one of the top leagues in the world.
Mr. Lutz, it was really a pleasure to speak with you. Good luck with all of your plans. Thank you so much for being guest of Sportski magazine of Al Jazeera Balkans.
Thanks for having me.